The invisible prison, the discovery of confinement, the stars, had always represented freedom to humanity. For 3 generations, humans had pushed outward from Earth, establishing colonies on distant worlds, mining asteroids rich with resources, and building stations that sparkled like jewels against the cosmic darkness. 23 star systems now bore the mark of human civilization, each one a testament to the species' unbreakable drive to explore and expand. Captain Elena Reeves stood on the bridge of the cargo ship Defiance Spirit, watching the navigation display with practiced eyes. Her vessel carried mining equipment to the colony on Viridian Prime, a routine run she had made dozens of times. The stars streamed past her viewport in familiar patterns. Everything seemed normal until the proximity alarms shrieked to life. "Captain, we have a massive energy signature directly ahead," her navigator shouted. "It's not on any charts. Distance, 200,000 kilometers, and closing fast." Elena's hands flew across the control panel. Full reverse thrust. Deploy. Emergency braking systems. The ship shuddered as its engines fought against momentum. Through the viewport, she saw something impossible. A shimmering wall of energy stretched across space, extending in every direction as far as her sensors could detect. The barrier pulsed with colors that hurt to look at directly. Waves of purple and silver light that seemed to exist in more dimensions than human eyes could process. The Defiant Spirit came to a violent stop just 3 kilometers from the barrier. Elena stared at the phenomenon, her mind racing. "Get me a full sensor sweep. What is that thing?" Her science officer worked frantically at his station. "Captain, it's some kind of quantum energy field. The power readings are off the scale. This thing completely encircles our position. If I'm reading this correctly, it surrounds all of human space." The Corvathian ultimatum 12 light-years away, on the command ship Eternal Dominion, Grand Archon. Talvex of the Corvathian Empire observed the activation of the containment barrier with satisfaction. His species had ruled this sector of the galaxy for 2,000 years, maintaining order through careful control and strategic suppression of younger civilizations. The humans had grown too quickly, expanded too aggressively. They asked too many questions and refused to accept the natural hierarchy of galactic civilization. "The barrier is fully operational," Grand Archon, his tactical officer, reported. "All 23 human star systems are now isolated. Their ships cannot pass through the field without being destroyed." Talvex nodded slowly. "Excellent. Now we deliver the message. They must understand this is for their own protection." The transmission reached Earth 3 hours later. Broadcast on every communication frequency, the message appeared on screens across human space. Talvex's imposing figure filled the displays, his 4 eyes gleaming with an expression humans interpreted as contempt. "People of Earth, I am Grand Archon Talvex of the Corvathian Empire. Your civilization has been placed under protective quarantine. Your rapid expansion threatens the delicate balance of galactic civilization. Your aggressive resource extraction endangers stellar ecosystems. Your military buildup suggests hostile intentions toward established powers. Therefore, the Galactic Council has authorized the construction of a containment barrier around your territory. You will remain within these boundaries. Trade will be permitted under strict supervision. Your technology will be monitored and regulated. This is not negotiable. This is not temporary. Accept your new reality with grace, and you will be treated fairly. Resist, and you will face consequences beyond your imagination." Humanity's response in the underground command center beneath Geneva, the United Defense Council assembled within an hour of receiving the Corvathian message. Admiral James Cortez slammed his fist on the conference table, his weathered face twisted with rage. "They've caged us like animals. This is an act of war." President Maria Santos raised her hand for calm. "Admiral, anger won't free us. We need information." What exactly are we dealing with? The room's holographic display activated, showing a three-dimensional map of the barrier. Dr. Rachel Kim, Earth's chief physicist, highlighted key features with gestures. The barrier is approximately 2 light years in radius, completely enclosing our colonized space. It's composed of exotic matter held in a quantum-locked state. The energy requirements to maintain it are staggering. They're literally bleeding power from nearby stars to fuel this thing. Can we break through it? Santos asked. Dr. Kim hesitated. With our current technology? No. The field would vaporize any ship that tried to cross it. The energy density is millions of times greater than anything we can generate. Admiral Cortez leaned forward. So we're trapped. 23 star systems, 14 billion people, and nowhere to go. But Commander Li Wei, head of Special Operations, spoke quietly from the corner of the room. We're not trapped. We're contained. There's a difference. Traps are meant to hold you until someone comes to finish you off. Containment assumes you'll accept your situation and stay put. His eyes gleamed with dangerous intelligence. They don't understand humans very well, do they? The search for weakness within 48 hours of the barrier's activation. Every scientific mind in human space was focused on a single problem: finding a way through the impossible wall. Dr. Sarah Mitchell led the primary research team at the Lunar Science Institute. She had spent her entire career studying exotic particles and quantum field theory. Now her knowledge might determine the survival of human civilization. Her team worked in shifts around the clock, analyzing sensor data from every ship that had encountered the barrier. They launched probes that recorded measurements until the barrier's energy tore them apart. They studied the power fluctuations, the quantum signatures, the way the field interacted with normal matter. On the 5th day, Dr. Mitchell made a discovery. She called Admiral Cortez directly, bypassing normal chains of command. "Admiral, I think I've found something. The barrier isn't static. It pulses. There's a rhythmic fluctuation in the energy density, probably related to how the Corvathians are channeling power from the stars." "Can we exploit that?" Cortez asked immediately. "Maybe. The pulses create microsecond windows where the field strength drops by approximately 30%. Still more than enough to destroy any ship trying to cross. But it's a weakness. If we can amplify those fluctuations, create a resonance effect, we might be able to disrupt the entire barrier structure." Cortez felt hope stir in his chest for the first time in days. "What do you need?" Dr. Mitchell's smile was fierce. "Time, resources, and permission to attempt something incredibly dangerous. If I'm wrong, we could trigger a catastrophic energy release that would sterilize every planet in human space." The Admiral didn't hesitate. "You have everything you need. Because if we do nothing, we die slowly behind this barrier. At least your way gives us a chance to die trying." The plan takes shape over the next 3 weeks. Humanity mobilized like never before. Every shipyard worked at maximum capacity. Every factory retooled for war production. Every colony contributed resources and personnel. The mission was given a simple name: Operation Horizon Break. Dr. Mitchell's team constructed devices called harmonic disruptors, machines designed to generate specific frequencies that would resonate with the barrier's pulse pattern. The theory was elegant but unproven. If successful, the disruptors would create cascading harmonics that would tear the barrier apart from within. But the Corvathians had placed automated defense stations throughout the barrier network, each one protecting the exotic matter generators that powered the field. These stations would need to be destroyed before the disruptors could work effectively. That meant sending human ships into combat against technology far more advanced than their own. Captain Reeves volunteered immediately. Her experience with the barrier, her navigation skills, and her reputation made her the obvious choice to lead the attack squadrons. She assembled a fleet of modified assault ships, each one equipped with experimental shielding designed to withstand brief exposure to the barrier's energy. Admiral Cortez addressed the crews before the mission launched. His voice carried across every ship in the human fleet. 3 weeks ago, an alien empire decided we were too dangerous to be free. They looked at humanity and saw something that needed to be controlled, limited, caged. They made a mistake. They forgot that humans have spent our entire existence fighting against limits. We climbed out of caves to reach the stars. We split atoms and bent space-time. We survived ice ages, plagues, and our own stupidity. We built civilizations in deserts and jungles and hostile worlds. And we did it all because we refused to accept that anything is impossible. He paused, letting his words sink in. Tomorrow, we're going to show the galaxy what happens when you try to cage humanity. We're going to break their unbreakable barrier. We're going to shatter their perfect containment. And we're going to teach every species out there a lesson they'll never forget. Humans don't do cages well. Breaking the unbreakable, the first strike. The attack began at 0300 hours, coordinated across 17 different points on the barrier. Captain Elena Reeves led Strike Group Alpha toward their target, a massive defense station that bristled with weapons and shielding. Her modified assault ship, renamed Cagebreaker, cut through space with its stealth systems engaged. All ships maintain formation, she commanded. Remember the timing. We have exactly 47 seconds from when the barrier pulses to when those defense stations can lock onto us. Make every second count. The barrier loomed before them, a wall of impossible energy that had imprisoned humanity for nearly a month. Reeves felt her jaw tighten with determination. Today, that wall came down. The barrier pulsed. Reeves saw the energy density drop on her instruments and shouted, "Now! All ships, execute attack pattern Delta." Cagebreaker surged forward, its experimental shielding flaring to life. The barrier's energy washed over the hull, making the ship scream with stress, but the shielding held. For 17 agonizing seconds, Reeves and her crew existed in a state between life and death, wrapped in energy that could atomize them in an instant. Then they were through, emerging into the space between the barrier's inner and outer layers. The defense station hung before them, massive and menacing. Its weapons tracked their approach, but Reeves had planned for this. Her ships scattered in unpredictable patterns, jamming the station's targeting systems while maintaining their attack vector. Weapons free? Reeves ordered. Take that station apart. Missiles streaked through the void, followed by particle beams and kinetic rounds. The station's shields absorbed the first wave, then the second, but the third breakthrough overwhelmed its defenses. Explosions blossomed across its surface. Secondary systems failed, and deep in the station's core, the exotic matter generator that helped power the barrier began to destabilize. A cascade begins across the barrier network. Similar battles raged. Human ships, outgunned but not outfought, threw themselves against Corvathian defenses with terrifying determination. They lost vessels. They lost crews. But they also destroyed generator after generator, creating gaps in the barrier's power structure. On Luna, Dr. Sarah Mitchell watched the tactical displays with her heart pounding. Each destroyed generator reduced the barrier's overall stability. The power grid was interconnected, designed so that remaining stations could compensate for losses. But that interconnection was also a vulnerability. If she had calculated correctly, if her understanding of quantum harmonics was accurate, she could use that interconnection against the barrier itself. Activate the disruptors, she ordered. All stations on my mark. Her team had positioned 37 harmonic disruptors throughout human space, each one aimed at the barrier from the inside. They would fire simultaneously, creating a wave of resonant energy that would match and amplify the barrier's natural pulse frequency. 3, 2, 1, mark. The disruptors activated. Energy poured into the barrier from 37 points. For a moment, nothing happened. Dr. Mitchell felt her stomach drop, wondering if she had miscalculated, if she had just wasted humanity's only chance at freedom. Then the barrier pulsed, and the pulse was stronger than before. The exotic matter generators struggled to regulate the increased energy flow. Some succeeded. Others began to fail, their quantum locks destabilizing under the harmonic stress. "It's working," her assistant shouted. "The resonance is building. Generator stations across the network are going into cascade failure." The barrier began to tear itself apart. Waves of energy rippled across its surface. Gaps appeared where generators had failed completely. The Corvathian defense network, designed to withstand external attacks, had no defense against this internal disruption. The Corvathian panic on the Eternal Dominion. Grand Archon Talvex watched in horror as his perfect containment system collapsed. "How is this possible?" "Our scientists said the barrier was impenetrable." His tactical officer's voice trembled. "Grand Archon, the humans are using our own power grid against us. They've created a resonance cascade. If we don't shut down the remaining generators immediately, the feedback could destroy them all. Then shut them down." Talvex roared. "But, Grand Archon, that will collapse the barrier entirely. The humans will be free." Talvex felt the weight of his failure crushing down on him. He had underestimated these creatures. He had assumed their primitive technology and limited understanding would keep them trapped. He had forgotten that desperation breeds innovation, and caged animals fight with nothing to lose. "Shut it down," he said quietly, "before the backlash destroys our generator network permanently." The order went out across the Corvathian fleet. One by one, the exotic matter generators powered down. And across 2 light years of space, the barrier that had caged humanity for 31 days flickered and died. Freedom's Price Captain Reeves was the first to cross the barrier line after it fell. Her ship's sensors confirmed what her eyes could barely believe. Open space, unrestricted, unlimited. Behind her, the entire human fleet emerged from their prison like a flood breaking through a dam. "All ships, this is Admiral Cortez. Execute expansion protocol immediately. Establish new colonies beyond the old barrier line. Show them that humanity will not be contained." Within hours, human ships spread across 100 new star systems. They planted flags, established outposts, and claimed territory with the aggressive confidence of a species that had just proven its strength. But Admiral Cortez also sent a message to the Corvathian Empire. It was simple and direct. "You tried to cage us because you feared what we might become. Now you've taught us exactly what we're capable when pushed to our limits. We broke your barrier. We shattered your perfect containment. We did the impossible because we refuse to accept limitations. But we're not your enemies unless you make us your enemies. We're offering one chance for peace. Meet us as equals or face us as opponents. Choose wisely." The new understanding 3 months after the barrier fell. Representatives from Earth and the Corvathian Empire met on a neutral station. Grand Archon Talvex faced Admiral Cortez across a conference table, both leaders studying each other carefully. "You understand why we feared your expansion," Talvex said finally. "Your species is relentless, aggressive, unpredictable. You disrupt everything you touch." Cortez nodded slowly. "And you understand now why containing us was doomed to fail. Humans don't do cages. We don't accept limits. We break things that try to hold us. But that doesn't mean we have to be enemies. What are you proposing? Partnership. Not as superior and inferior, but as equals. You have knowledge we need. We have perspectives you lack. The galaxy is big enough for both our civilizations to thrive without crushing each other. Talvex was silent for a long moment. His species had ruled through control for 2 millennia. The idea of partnership with a younger race was almost inconceivable. But he had learned a hard lesson about human determination. "Very well," he said finally. "Let us try this partnership. But know that we will be watching carefully." Cortez smiled. "We wouldn't expect anything less. Just remember what happens when you try to build cages around humanity." The universe itself seems to refuse the attempt. As the 2 delegations began their negotiations, word spread across the galaxy. The young human civilization had faced containment by an elder power, and not only survived, but emerged stronger. They had broken an unbreakable barrier through ingenuity, determination, and their refusal to accept imprisonment. Other species watched and learned. Some feared humanity even more after witnessing their capabilities. Others saw potential allies who would never surrender to overwhelming odds. But all of them understood one fundamental truth: humanity could not be caged. The galaxy had tried to silence them, to limit them, to control their expansion. And the universe itself had refused to cooperate. Dr. Sarah Mitchell stood on the observation deck of the Lunar Science Institute, watching ships depart for newly established colonies. Her harmonic disruptors had been declared a scientific breakthrough that would reshape human understanding of quantum mechanics. But she cared less about the accolades than about the simple sight of human vessels crossing freely through space that had been forbidden just months before. "We did it," her assistant said, standing beside her. "We actually did it." Mitchell smiled. "We proved something important, not just to the Corvathians, but to ourselves. No matter what limits the universe throws at us, no matter what barriers other species try to impose, humans will find a way through. We always have. We always will." As she spoke, another ship launched toward the stars, carrying pioneers who would establish humanity's next foothold in the cosmos. The cage was broken. The barriers were shattered. And humanity's journey into the galaxy was just beginning. The universe had refused to hold them. And now nothing ever would. The end asterisk